Hello everyone, this is part number 7. I'm really sorry about my voice. I'm not very well, but it's time for a nice cup of tea and a Grimdown. First, as I mentioned, I'm gonna upgrade my gear a little bit. First, I have to craft Hound for myself. Probably we have to farm a little bit for that. We're gonna be a little bit short, I believe, on a... Also, I miss some blueprints. Because Soul Self-Outrun. This is one of them. I'm gonna need Spectre as well. I'm gonna buy Mark of Morgan. I'm not gonna spend all of my wealth. I have to be careful. So we're gonna craft counted steel. We need ectoplasm. As I said, this is a pretty expensive craft. Spectre is kinda cheap, I think. And Ether steel bolts. Not very expensive. And we have Hound. Finally, some upgrade. Completion bonus is absolutely terrible, but that doesn't matter. We have something to cast. That's gonna provide more damage. We have a secondary defensive ability. I'm gonna bump my Mavens. It's time to work on defenses. I'm gonna move forward soon. Let's take a look if we can swap the boots for a 50 level boots. It's good to swap the gloves as well.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Yep, this gonna do. Our chaos resistance comes at the bare minimum. Run speed. Let's check the armors.
See anything you like?
That actually not a bad armor piece. It's gonna fix half of my problems. Also we have surplus on a... So definitely a good swap. Pants at the moment are really good. We can get a better ring. Definitely. This one rolls very well.
Put it to good use.
Let's quickly check the reputation status. Homestead, I'm very close to unlock the rings. Maybe they have something useful. Let's check what gloves we can craft. We have this low level grips are the next one. Lightning bolt, it's not something that we stuck. This is a tank stuff. We have some materials, let's try these ones. Actually this I'm gonna keep Rovery for now.
Come see what's left of my wares. See anything you like?
As I said, we work on defenses at the moment.
Let's take a look, shall we?
Still, I can't find way to fix my poison resistance. I assume I'm gonna play like this for a while until I find a way. We have to finish some quests that I actually leave on a standby at the outskirts. Basically Dahlia's quest. You have to come here and you're gonna find a bookshelf. Here is the bookshelf. This is the Dravis letter. You don't have to clear here. As you can see, corruption is a very nice skill to have. This is directly boost. Also, we can use some overcaps. For example, Fabric of Reality. It's not big deal. I can use these 2 points somewhere else. Let's go back to Dahlia. She's gonna give us the next follow-up. Damage at this point is quite high. Especially on a Pax, I just murder them. Hound granted skill, it's a very nice damage at this point as well. It's good to press it from time to time. It's gonna help you with the clear. It's gonna eliminate most of the trash. And also it's gonna apply 8% resistance shred. Builds start to get together, but I need 3 more levels to equip my medal. And then I'm gonna fully convert Panetti to Ether, apart from the dot. Because Ether don't have dot associated to it. So you can't convert the lighting, the electrocute, the fire burn and frostburn. As you can see, at the moment I will just casually one-shot this hero. Definitely a noticeable buff to Panetti. She's gonna send us on another quest. This quest line in normal is not necessary, but in ultimate she rewards you with a amazing weapon, and this is the only way to acquire this weapon. This is a Blaze Heart, is a fire strike. And it fits to a couple of builds very well as well. Basically, we now follow Dravis on his journey to become immortal. This is one of the guaranteed bosses here. If you need any of the Rylok medals, this boss is the best way to acquire them. If you look for a savagery, this is the savagery one, and the other one was Vitality Primal Strike, if I'm not mistaken. And here is everything that you need. And now usually you either reset or find the exit. I'm gonna try to find the exit. Usually it's not very far from... Actually there is a second level. There is a side quest here as well, which is quite nice. But let's do it. I never do this quest in a solo self-found run, so it's a good to showcase it. Actually, it's quite nice. Here you can acquire some reputation. Also, it's a very good spot to farm obsidian cleavers if you're a soldier, force wave soldier. If you save them, this is very interesting. You can kill them or save them. They promise they gonna burn all the occultist stuff, but they lied. And if you save them, they gonna corrupt one of the bosses at Forgotten Gods, which I like usually. So I'm gonna help them. And you have to destroy the monolith. And this is how you finish the quest. She's gonna give us this time some random weapon, not the legendary one from Ultimate, but that's okay. Sometimes you can get lucky. This one is completely useless, but it's what it is. I'm gonna get rid of this quest so they don't stay and distract me. Usually it's good to finish that much earlier, because a nice experience, but now I'm just totally forgot about it. To use the key from Direni. Depraved Sanctuary actually scales, so feel free to kill Salazar. There is a big treasure room when you do a first kill. Actually it's a quite nice treasure room even if you start to farm him. There is a couple of very good chests there. You don't have to kill these guys, they don't scale, they're level 18. But I think Depraved Sanctuary actually scales. It's a dangerous domain. Yeah, this scales, they are 55. Also there is a totem here, almost guaranteed. Be careful with the Harbingers, as I every time mention, these guys deal stones of damage. You can use Mirror, you can use Steps of Torment. Not Steps of Torment, sorry, Mark of Torment. It's good to clear all the champions. They have a chance to drop Catonic Seals, and I'm quite short after the last crafting session. This episode's gonna be mostly finishing some side areas. Some objectives, that's very important. As you can see, this was a Harbinger put his debuff on me. And I almost dropped to below 50%. Depraved Sanctuary is very dangerous if you not have maxed chaos resistance. Here the most important thing is to kill first the Harbinger before you fight Salazar. Also you can Steps of Torment him and redirect all the damage that he does to you. This is a very common strategy on short fights, to use Mark of Torment offensively just to finish the fight faster. And here is a guaranteed one-shot chest just for the first time. And there is a treasure room, usually contains up to 5 chests. This time's quite poor, but still money, money, money. And we need those. We're not gonna cleanse the Ancient Grove. It's time to start the cults. What is the Three Witch cults? Basically, back in the days before Grimdawn, there is a 3 occultists that were hungry for power. And basically they trade off everything for immortality and power. And they become gods among men. This is Sulail, Drake, and Bismil. There is a lot of information about them, which is very interesting one. I'm gonna start. The only one that don't have so much is actually Sulail. These guys over here, you can ask them. They're gonna share information. Sulail protects all the beasts. Also, he's the god that needs some sacrifices all the time. And usually he likes human sacrifices. This is a little bit disturbing about him. But this is how he becomes stronger. And the people that follows him as well. And because I choose him, you're gonna see how much sacrifices he needs. Bismil. Bismil is basically a queen of lies. She's a manipulative. Before Grimdawn, she have a spies everywhere. Nobody knows her true form, but rumors say she's a spider in her true form. But she can take multiple forms on a different beasts, also humans. Some rumors say she's behind the war in the Empire. She basically deceived a lot of generals and stuff. Also emperors, kings. And people that actually see her original form are actually dead. She doesn't like to know. Basically, people knows how she looks, and usually she spread gossips and stuff all around the world. But after the Grimdawn hits, a lot of her followers get scared and stuff, so she lose a lot of power. All of the gods, they disappears, they lose a lot of power. Next one, it's Drake. He is the oldest. Drake sacrificed his mortal eyes to open all of his eldritch eyes, you can see here. He has eyes everywhere. He has a central eye, the main eyes. He's surrounded by eyes. He is the all-seeing and all-knowing. He is the most wisdom one among the all three. But all this knowledge drag him insane. And also everyone that he whispers to, they got insane as well. So this is, in a long story short, everything about them. Some people say that these three guys are actually their avatars, but this is not proved. But it's quite suspicious that Bismio is actually a woman, like supposed to be. So there is a little bit of truth behind every myth. There is a little bit more lore shared during the Hidden Path quest. There is a one guy that you can talk with it. A long conversation about the witch gods. And actually, very interesting fact, Drake predict the Grim Dawn. In one of his vision, he saw the world in rot, basically. There is a couple of secret areas here, I'm not gonna do it. Not very profitable, especially at normal. There is an ice helm that gives 1 to all skills, but this is at elite and ultimate. It's pointless to go there now. Forgotten God is a very hard act usually, but it's a very good one in terms of power spike because contains like 8 or 9 devotions. If you do a Tomb of Heretics questline, you're gonna unlock one more. Usually if I don't need anything from the cults, I pick Sulile. I think their questline is quite linear and very easy to understand and master. Usually the other two took me much more time to finish. Especially Drake. Drake is very chaotic. You have to hunt some mobs that sometimes are in the side areas, and I don't, especially when I'm recording, I try to keep the videos a little bit shorter. Here some passive kills helps you with the reputation, that's why I kill. Also we are a little bit broke after last crafting session. We have to pick up some iron bits, also materials. Before we step into elite, we have to upgrade the gear as well. I am forced to do elite at least up to Cronley, because I need a way to upgrade my shoulder. They are very important. It's a pretty lucky drop. That early, it's almost impossible to get a Corvan halberd. Usually I get it much later when I need it, especially during the league. That's why I hate to level as a primal strike shaman. I don't have any luck with these Corvan halberds, and this weapon is insane. Gives you 4 to primal strike, weapon damage to primal strike, and a lot of, especially if you're an elementalist, it converts more than half of the physical damage to lighting. This is an insanely good weapon. If you roll the right suffix prefix, can convert the physical damage even more. This is huge boost to your primal strike character. It's maybe 5 times better than the spark thrower, and it's also early in the game. And spark thrower is at Malmut expansion. Of course, if you prefer guns over melee weapons, you can aim for a spark thrower. But trust me, this weapon is insanely good. Now, I think we have enough life. I can start dump some points in Maven, so I get some absorbs. That's gonna help me a lot, especially when my armor is a little bit bad. Positioning when you play a caster is very important. You don't have to face tank. Of course I can, but usually I avoid to do it. These ectoplasms, I'm short on them. I have to start kill more undeads. This area is full of sarcophagus, so you can open them as a regular chests. That's gonna boost your wealth a little bit. There is a guaranteed shrine here, which is the main reason, and of course the quest for a Sulail. We're gonna apply our corruption. This is gonna be a very fast kill. And this is how we start drop legendary items, the low version of it. Ignafar is not bad armor if you have problem with the energy regeneration and chaos resistance. Also the proc is quite nice. I don't scale this type of damage unfortunately, but if you are some sort of elemental damage build, this armor fits very well. This guy, as I mentioned several times, fight him not at the middle. Also I'm gonna use my, as I said, my Mark of Torment offensively. He basically killed himself. Don't forget to take the Eye of Okur. You don't want to come back through the whole dungeon for it. Because the boss don't drop it itself, it comes from the chest behind him. Also here is a secret area. First, we want to go down and immediately to the west. So here is a Sulail Apprentice. This quest is available even if you are not stick with them. But honestly, it doesn't matter much which cult you're gonna pick. You're gonna max their reputation almost equally. Also, you can pick a second cult at ultimate if you want to catch up on the reputation. Usually I don't do that, I stick with one. Corruption is not bad relic as well. But it's more like there is a secret ring here. This is the best leveling ring for the first 20 levels and so. This is Leovanos ring. It's all damage, experience and elemental resistance. All of this very important early on when you start naked. So definitely come here at least one more time and the other difficulties to get one more. It's gonna give you a huge power spike to your ults if you play with ults. We got respected with Coven. We can check their stuff at level 65. This is a high level faction. They sell some nice stuff. Let's see if any blue affinity devotion have a poison resistance. This is pretty bad. We have to stick with the original plan. We're gonna max heal for the colors, and we need another 3. That's gonna be maybe stuck. I have some energy issues, but unfortunately Lotus don't have blue affinity. Right is kinda okay. Comes with some ether damage, some damage to undeads. Can't be useful. I'm gonna decide later. But it's time to get spear. We are already close to finishing the devotion path. Panther actually is quite nice. And I'll go for the offensive ability and crit damage. Some energy regeneration. So probably my next devotion is gonna be Panther. Especially when we move in another difficulty, we're gonna need all of the boost that we can get. Be careful with these tornadoes. They deal heavy physical damage. You don't want to stay at the middle of them, taking passive damage during the fights. Reposition yourself. You're gonna be surprised how fast you can die. As you can see, these deal a lot of passive damage. Now I proc Chariot, but just watch. You don't want this. Also applies to debuffs. This is a guaranteed spawn. You have to avoid its thunder. Just, it's very easy. He is a very slow. Batch of Tenacity is a very nice defensive medal. Not this version, but maybe the mythical one is quite good. If you're a shield user as well. We are not, so we're not gonna stick to this. Our poison resistance bad, so we have to move forward away from the poison damage dealers. Which remind me, I can check my friend Isaredin. Or I can check my blacksmith if I can craft this. Because not very expensive to craft poison resistance ointment.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
He doesn't have any,
Price on what I've got left.
but he has Hour Frost. Always keep Hour Frost in your inventory. This always almost solves all of your freeze resistance problems. Actually, I have it. Anti-venom. I'm gonna craft one batch for myself. 3 is gonna be enough until I fix my problems. And Forgotten God actually comes with some poison damage. This is how easy you can fix your problems. Use ointments, there is no shame in it. They are in the game. Especially if you're not lucky finding useful stuff. This is a very dangerous totem. And actually, I forgot to use my... I have to fix my weapon damage. I forgot to place my component after I swap the weapons. There is another devotion shrine here. We have to eliminate the arcane mob. We are very dependent on our buffs to stay alive. You don't want to get stripped when you play Spellbinder. Here we can start. Actually, we can't use Panther. I have to pick something else. There's gonna be too much points if I use... Actually, Hound's gonna fix my armor problems for now. We can always switch off tier 1s for a better ones. The most important thing for me is to level the tier 2s and 3s with procs. Tier 1s is very situational to your leveling. That's why it's not very advisable to follow endgame devotion 3. Because that devotion 3 work for the character with maximized gear, but it's not gonna work very well on the character that actually in the leveling phase. And 15% basically from all nodes Hound armor is gonna help me a lot to sustain better on top of my other absorptions and defensives. Also getting some physique is always nice, because I can focus a little bit more on spirit. But for now, Legion's armor solves my energy problems. I don't take this quest usually. It's a waste of time, it's not very rewardable. You can always do it if you want. But I'm here mainly for the devotion. Our inventory is full, which means I have to take a look what I got for a potential upgrades. There is a guaranteed dynamite here. Usually this corpse spawn a ghost if you take the quest. But as I said, I'm not here to fight the boss. Also, this boss possesses a lot of shotgun mechanics. And sometimes he can be very dangerous. Now we can move forward. Our armor start to pick up slowly. I'm gonna leave a rift gate here. I'm gonna come back for the devotion shrine at the Sunbane Oasis. We wanna pick every single item. That's a blueprint. This is gonna help us find what we need. We can come back, bring back some quests, get another one.
You're looking Can you go back?
And now Sulile wants sacrifice. We have to clear the ranks from the weakest ones. I kill all the men's. I'm gentlemen's. There is a 3 men and 2 women. And I just decide to kill the guys and leave woman alone. This guy, they hate him. You can see guards even helps you to kill him.
Well, good.
We have to fight these guys down here as well. Usually I let them stay. Why not? So I'll need more followers and more sacrifice sooner or later. At this point, normal experience gain get penalty.
Greetings.
This is a very important quest. You're gonna unlock this when you get respected with one of the cults. Also, don't overwrite your rift. I have to go back to grab a devotion. Every rift in Forgotten God is important, especially if you want to unlock the Tomb of Heretic. I'm gonna kill the boss for more reputation. And we can continue on our merry way. I have to keep track on my ointment. There is some heavy battles ahead, but probably I'm gonna end the episode in the vanguard of the tree. There is a guaranteed boss here. He deals respectful amount of damage. Also, he has a thunder mechanic. I'm gonna nullify myself, as I explained several times. And this is an amazing weapon. We got Venom Funk of Alacrity. If you level a Poison Dervish, this is a top find. A very, very good one. There is a secret area here, part of the Tomb of the Heretic questline. They are quite few, and you have to do all of them in terms to complete the seal. There is a secret passage over here. That's the secret passage. You can leave a rift gate for yourself. And kill one of the guardians. Our goal is to get the rift gate so we can backtrack. These side quests here, usually they are okay. They are along the way, so don't be afraid to grab them. One of them is a little bit on the side, but this is not big deal. And it's time to sell some stuff. I'm gonna keep this belt. Usually we want to stack Arcanist skills, not Necro. Reckless power, poison resistance. Actually, this is gonna solve my poison resistance problems, but I think my pierce, it's okay. Actually, my bleeding is okay as well. I don't have to care leg plates of Vala, so we can do the swap. And when the ointment goes off, I'm gonna be short a little bit, I think. But for me, it's better to use Ancient Armor Plate on the pants instead of Anti-Venom Salve. I'm gonna do it for now. And if I take too much damage, I'm gonna switch to my original plan. Let's check this side area. It's on the way, so it's a fun challenge. Basically, you follow the steps on a priest that goes on an expedition to find the Tomb of Heretic. This is Tucha travel log. You can see how he proceeded until and this renegade merchant or whatever at Forgotten Gods, he wants all the treasures from there. And this is usually an interesting quest line, because if you refuse to give him the key, he's gonna constantly send his hitmans. When you're leveling in Forgotten Gods, they're gonna be random encounters. They are called associates of, what was his name? Sorry, I just forgot it. These guardians, they drop very interesting legendary MIs on a elite difficulty, on a ultimate, sorry. So they are worth farming if you want to collect every item in the game and to try interesting builds as well. It's quite annoying, long quest line to deal with. This is Halanx. And this is the third seal actually, which means the first two are somewhere at behind. There is a totem, why not? This is another ether weapon, not very useful for us. We got a level up. I'm gonna distribute the points and probably I'm gonna end up the episode here. I'm gonna soft cap my Maven. This is gonna be enough for now. I'm gonna get one more point for the diminishing returns before diminishing returns hit. 6 out of 10 is probably the best spot for conversion, because after that it's gonna give us just 2% per level after the 6 point. And I have to at some point come here so I can flip Reckless Power for Harbinger of Souls, but this is gonna be when I get my spear, because this is weapon proc, so I'm gonna leech. Of course, if I have attack damage converted to health, but probably I'm gonna swap some of my gear to acquire some.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Also, now it's a good moment to use our stash. We're gonna need the salt back later on, but that's not big deal. Usually if you sell it, you can make a new character and transfer it. It's not so painful. But usually all the potion, the useful stuff you want to transfer, just in case if you die. Crystals as well, it's good to keep some stock. Not use all of them. Also, as if fervor is a nice leveling relic, always keep one piece of it, don't sell it. Leovanus ring as well. This is a sellable item. This is a sellable item. We can keep these pants for now, because we're gonna approach much harder content from now on, so it's good. Basically, anyways, if I die, I'm gonna delete all of this, but I do it for the showcase. What you have to do when you play hardcore: pay attention to your stash, try to organize your rare materials, so if you die, your next start's gonna be much easier. compared to this one.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left. Iron weld.
And this is for now. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.